What's up guys, TCG here, back again with another video, cashing in on more of this Banlist hype. Bandai Card Fest 2023-2024 just happened, One Piece Worlds just happened, and they made the Banlist announcement, so we're gonna just get into that today. Starting things off, a little bit of spoilers. If you didn't know, RIP Sakazuki, they shot my boy. He's not my boy, but they shot my boy, so rest in power. So what happened, right? Worlds recap. So day one, 5-round Swiss, 16 players, and then the representation was kind of what we expected. You see that there's 11 Sakazuki, 2 Enel, 2 Purple Luffy, 1 Zoro, right? And that's pretty much how like the current format has been looking. In the previous format has been looking in both the East and West, where Sakazuki just has super high representation, you know, but he doesn't really convert well over here in the East, right? I'm sorry, over here in the West, right? Or in the East, when they, you know, reinvented the deck and they really, you know, discovered Sakaluchi, he just became the best deck in the format. And a lot of people were saying Saka is the best deck in the format over here, but he isn't winning, so he isn't a problem. Well, let's look at day two. So after the 5 rounds of Swiss, they cut to the top 4 players, and then in the finals, we see 4 Sakazuki. Who would have guessed, right? You know, you can make a case that, oh well, you know, the other opponents just got unlucky or whatever, this and that, and it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. Of course, you know, he's gonna convert so high if there's so many of him, but the fact that like all of them are Sakazuki and we didn't see one other represented deck is kind of telling of like the deck's true strength, you know. And the actual hit, so it was more than just the Sakazuki leader that they hit. They also hit Impact from OP06 as well as Great Eruption from the starter deck. And these bans go into place for the East at least in April 1st, you know, April Fool's Day 2024. So April 1st this year, the Eastern players will be able to enjoy a Sakazuki-less format, an Impact-less format, and a Great Eruption-less format. So this kind of also brings me to like my next point, as where Bandai oh, I gotta like move my head a little. No, I'll be fine. So Bandai, instead of just just blanket banning the leader and like, you know, making it a Sakazuki-less format, they gave us another Sakazuki leader. I guess this is their form of like balancing slash nerfing Sakazuki, is they gave it Lasudo Arata. So they're reprinting a promo, or they're printing a promo of Sakazuki, another blue-black leader, whereas activate main, once per turn you discard a navy card from your hand and then you give your opponent's character -1 cost. So as opposed to just getting the -1 for attacking for free and cycling a card every turn, your leader actually pays a cost to use their ability now, and then the ability is just -1. I don't think pitching a hand to do -1 is you know, anywhere near the power level that this needs to be relevant. So, you know, blue and black is just a strong color combination in general, but the fact that, you know, you don't get to see 2 cards every turn, as well as you don't get the free, like you're basically playing cost. You know, this is a balanced leader, but it's also a very bad leader, not even just in comparison to the other Sakazuki. Like in a vacuum, this is not a good leader. You know, Perona does -1 for free. That's it. Perona just does -1 for free. So maybe they hit him on the head a little too hard with this one. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but who knows? People will probably cook this anyway and cope with it, and maybe we'll get something out of it. But yeah, I also have this picture on the side here. Bands of Sako doesn't win and Bands of Sako wins, because this is interesting how prepared they were, how prepared Bandai was when it came down to getting ready to just release this promo. It kind of makes me think that they had like this files here where, oh, if Saka wins and he's like 100% represented or whatever, you know, print a new Saka. Or if like Enel wins this, that, and the third, you know, do this. So it kind of makes me feel as if they had like a whole like, you know, switch and lever system, you know, if other decks won, which is kind of interesting to think about. You know, what if they had like a whole suite of promos that they were just ready to nerf? And this is kind of an interesting approach in general, is to like how that they choose to nerf cards instead of just banning them and leaving them out of rotation forever. They kind of reprint the leaders and, you know, errata the leaders by printing a new promo. So I kind of like this precedent where if like, you know, we banned something, we're still going to give you something that's comparable. I don't think this is comparable, but that also raises the question of, do we need a comparable Sakazuki replacement? I don't know. I'm just the guy on the internet. Anyway, how will this impact like the OP07 meta right now that they're going on right now? A lot of people who are participating in OP07 saying that the meta is already pretty diverse with the inclusion of Sakazuki. So now that they exclude him, you know, Red Green Law got a 5-cost Luffy card that stops your cards from being KO'd, right? So if Gecko Mori is the best deck, but all Gecko Mori can do is like KO these blockers, these babies, these baby units, that Green Luffy says, nah, you got to KO me first. So Red Green Law may make a comeback, because the only other threat to him would be like Perona or Dofi bottom decking with like that 7-cost spell. Rob Lucci can actually still put Law to the ground, but it's kind of looking bright for him. And then you still have like Purple Luffy and what have you. Yeah, Katakuri. Yellow loses to Red Green Law, so I'm kind of happy to see Red Green Law, or potentially to see Red Green Law come back into the format. He was the first deck I built, first deck I played, so I have some bias there. A lot of people aren't happy, or a lot of people weren't happy, like with the thought of Red Green Law coming back, but I think he's a cool leader. I think whenever he's like one of the best decks in the format, it's a good thing. I seen someone say that, oh, Bandai banned Sakazuki. Now we know that they don't like skillful decks in the format. Red Green Law is a skillful deck. He isn't like you just play this deck, you get carried. Like if you see everything, then maybe, but Red Green Law is a skillful deck. I think that would be enjoyable to have into the format again, especially with like how yellow is just continuously, or Anel is just an evergreen yellow leader. You know, the more yellow stuff that they print, he just benefits from it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see what they do over there and start cooking. I even see some rumblings of Boa Hancock being an actually good leader. So, you know, it's looking bright for that metagame, and whatever they decide to do over there, I'll be definitely watching. And what about us over here? So in the West, it always feels that we have to like play in the shadow of whatever they do. You know, we just like continue their format and continue their metagame. Where we started off OP05 was like knowing Sokka was the best deck, so everyone built him, everyone brought him, no one innovated, no one did anything different until the later half of the format, right? Where now we're seeing Purple Luffy's tech in like Orobis and Miss All Sundays to help deal with the Sakazuki matchup. And that kind of innovation and that kind of deck building and stuff like that, it can happen, but look how late it took for like Purple Luffy's to start doing that. You know, we're almost at the end of our format, about to go into OP06, and I just think that, yeah, we're in the end of our format in OP05 going into OP06, and it just took this long for the changes to get in. Yeah, so we got these changes in the East, but we don't know if Bandai is going to announce anything for the West. And the question is like, should they announce anything, since, you know, Sokka's only been good for one format over here? And are people tired of playing / seeing Sokka? I personally am. Other people might not be, but you never know. It's, you know, I'm not the only one playing this game. I don't think Sokka leader needs a hit. I don't think we need to hit him over the head like they did over here. But my problem card has always been Rebecca. And in terms of Enel, I can see Amaru going. But that's pretty much all the changes that I want. Like Amaru, Beige, Rebecca for me. If we get any changes, I would like to see some changes, but maybe let's let OP06 drop for a while, and if these decks are still too prevalent and powerful, maybe in the middle of the format before EBO1 comes out, we hit something. But yeah, that's the end of my slideshow, my little presentation. Those are my thoughts on the Banlist. Really, I'm glad Bandai did something. I kind of think it's a little egregious just doming Sokka like that, but hey man, it is what it is. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe for more content. I plan on uploading more regularly. I got hooked on Honkai Star Rail. I might upload some of my polls on that too. Let me know if you guys want to see some Honkai Star Rail content, some of my polls, and maybe some Memory Chaos clears. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.